Hey y'all, I'm your girl Monét, and you is watching the exchange rate. Did you know that lending money to a friend is very dangerous? Yeah, apparently it can lead to a severe acute memory loss. But I don't know nothing about that. I just punch a bitch in the throat. You feel me? Girl. So I have to say, in quarantine, I have been seeing a lot of people on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram posting pictures of them looking dreadful, haggard, horrible. And y'all see me in this lovely lighting with this lovely set and this lovely face. Well, I'm drooling. And y'all don't know, outside of the exchange rate, bitch, I look broke, busted, and disgusted. My toes look like who did it and who gonna suck it. My damn, y'all commented on the last video a lot about my armpit hair, which I don't appreciate because you guys are trying to set impossible beauty standards for women. And women can have armpit hair. Women can have a little facial hair. That's fine, mom. Don't judge me for my quarantine proclivities. You know what I'm saying? And you guys will see, I'm giving you the best of Monét X Change right now. This is not what I look like all the time. In fact, people in mainstream media, what's his name? Will Reeves from Good Morning America. He got called out the other day because he did his whole interview, and you know that he has like a suit and tie and the whole shebang. And then the lower thirds of the topic like went away. Bitch, he was fully in boxer briefs. And a full suit from the waist up. Like, yeah, as far as y'all know, bitch, I got a jock strap with a fucking diaper on. And y'all will never be none the wiser because we edit our own footage and ABC can't shade us on this broadcast, honey. My new favorite thing to do is go on YouTube and look at Zoom meeting fails. If you have, literally last night, after I spent 2 hours watching Rihanna videos, I spent 3 hours watching Zoom meeting fails on YouTube, and they are the gift that keeps on giving. Just go to YouTube, type in Zoom fails, and one is, this particular one, it was this college, some language class, I think it was Spanish, or maybe it was Japanese, or maybe whatever. It was a college language class, and this boy is with his professor, and he thought that his screen was off. Bitch, he gets up to do whatever, and he is fully naked, okay? Not some tighty-whities, not some breeze, bitch, dick swinging, all right? And it was good. But yeah, and then also SNL did that Zoom sketch, which was really, really, really funny. Of course, Kate McKinnon is funny as hell, and Eddie Bryant, they were like the two funny old people who couldn't work the Zoom. And I'm just gagged that SNL is, if y'all been watching SNL, they have been providing them with new wigs for like every sketch. Where are they getting these wigs? Who are sending them these wigs? I guess SNL workers are essential because they give us jokes and they give us laugh and they give us levity and they make us feel good about ourselves. Long story short, SNL send me some motherfucking wigs. Okay? We've got a super, super lovely show planned for y'all today because all the way from the Olympics to the most iconic cast reveal in Drag Race history, for all the wrong reasons, Adam Rippon is stopping by. And she is the dancing diva of season 12. The fabulous Widow Von Du is going to be chatting with me as well. Yay, yay, oh, yay. But first, let's get into the gig. Boom. So. We're at the point where a lot of the world, and especially our country, is opening back up. And, well, Wuhan, China, they were on lockdown for like 3, maybe 4 months until they started to open stuff back up. But, bitch, America has been on lockdown for about 60 days, 2 months. And places are opening up. Houston is already open. Dallas is opening this week. But Georgia opened up this past Friday. And it's been, obviously, these places that are opening up are being met with a lot of criticism. Georgia, particularly, the Republican governor, the guy who beat out Stacey Abrams, who we were all rooting for to win, reopened the state last Friday. And Georgia was one of the states with the biggest COVID outbreaks, especially for the Black community. And the places that they opened, again, not only black people go to these places, but it felt very, very, very pointed. They opened up all nail salons, barbershops, churches. Again, black people are not the only people who go to these places, but those are historically, and we know those are very common meeting places for black folk. You know what I mean? I mean, bitch, I can tell you how many girls up in my, all my friends up on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, they're like, bitch, I need to get my hair done. I need to get my nails done. Like, they are targeting a demographic, and it seems very, very, very shady. Well, the black community, again, is more at risk have been more at risk for getting coronavirus cases in Georgia. And it's just not cool. I'm like, let's wait it out. I think people really do not understand this idea of staying distant longer so that we can finally eradicate the problem and we can like live our lives. We can all hang out and be together again. 2 Chainz has a restaurant in Georgia called Escobar, and the other one is called Tapa. And he, like every business, closes the restaurant down to only takeout and delivery. And it resulted in a 95% decrease in sales, which forced them to furlough almost 80% of their staff. And I know those are big numbers, but I mean, it's for the betterment that people aren't getting sick, people aren't dying, and people aren't making the problem worse by exacerbating the issue. You know what I'm saying? And he was going to open up his business, but of course, the internet let his ass have it. And Snoop Dogg is his business partner, and they were like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this. So they decided not to reopen, unlike a lot of businesses in Georgia. And yeah, it sucks. I know these people are displaced. These people need the income, but it, again, for long-term reasons, it's smarter to stay closed. And he was saying, you know, opening will bring back up to 65% of his staff, which is better than 0. But again, girl, we're trying to wait this out so that we can all dance and party and bullshit in the sun together. So good job, 2 Chainz. Snoop Dogg, are you still on thin ice with a lot of us over the whole Oprah and Gayle controversy? So I guess that's a check plus for you, but we still watching. Anyway, the more and more the world is turning and revolving, I am learning more about Billie Eilish, and I'm really feeling her. She is low-key savage and high-key shady, and I'm all the way here for it. So Billie Eilish, if you don't know, she is the green-haired girl, the girl who won all the Grammys this year. She was a big takeaway winner with her album. She was doing an Instagram live where she was giving her fans a concert. She was singing music, and she was living her life. Here comes Lil Pump. First of all, why are we still, this is not the year 2002. Why are we still naming ourselves Lil anything? Y'all remember all the Lils? Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo, Lil Zane. Remember Lil Zane? He was fine. And I had a story where I sat next to Lil Romeo on a Delta flight to Minneapolis, which I'll tell you another time. Anyway, so yeah, Lil Pump goes into the live with his little verified check mark, and he's sending her all these messages. He goes, you're the love of my life. Let me take you out on a date. Please, please let me wife you. And Billie Eilish is just singing to her fans, living her life like, what? I guess, again, these were not threatening. These were not aggressive. Well, I guess a little aggressive. Like 5 messages, that's a lot. But Billie Eilish, she finally reads his message, and then she starts laughing out loud and goes, no thanks. Which I'm here for. Lil Pump is crazy. Okay, he has a really, really crazy public persona. He's constantly portrayed doing drugs in public, weed, lean. What the fuck is lean? What do the kids do? What is lean? Can someone comment below and let me know what lean is? If I will have a guess, it sounds like an inhalant. Lean? Maybe it's probably like some weird colloquialism for fucking coke or something. Anyway, Xanax. And he was arrested in 2018 for disorderly conduct. And he is just the complete exact opposite of what Billie Eilish is. Like, Billie Eilish, she is really about her music, and she's really about her brother, who is one of her big producers on her album. And yeah, he doesn't seem like he's anything that she would be into. But people have been obsessed with Eilish for a long time. She just turned 18, and before she turned 18, there were online countdowns to when she would be of age. She's made an entire career of like desexualizing her body. Like, she wears like oversized clothes and stuff like that to like not show you know, her body, because she's like, my music is a fucking focus. Why are you trying to focus on my body and what I look like? Which is, I think is really fierce. It's on some Sia shit, on some, y'all know her, H-E-R, like she wore the glasses because she was like, I want people to focus on what I look like, be able to focus on me. Love that song. Like, it's all about like the music and the art, which I'm really, really, really digging. So Billie Eilish, kudos to you. I like it. We got the video for it. The next one is Ariana Grande. Now, let me tell you something. I am an Ariana fan. Again, in the Disney live sing-along thing, which I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw like the highlight reel on Twitter because, girl, nobody got time for all that. But she did her cover of Oops, I'm in Love. And she had a moment this week where she's kind of really over people who impersonate her on TikTok, because there's a big TikTok community. I think it's just a pop culture thing where people love to impersonate celebrities. But anyway, she gets upset because people impersonate her, but they do her look with the ponytail and the wing eyelash and the sweatshirt, but they use the voice of her character, Kat, from her like Nickelodeon show like back in the day, and it like weirds her out. She said, she retweeted this Instagram post, and she said, oh my God, it was this guy complaining about how people who impersonate celebrities and movies that they've been in and they recreate them, they are not art and degrade the value of the original art. Again, I don't think they realize that people doing that cause younger people or people who may not know what they're doing to try to find it out. And I think it gives more traction. I don't think it degrades anything. People are emulating it because they really like Ariana. They really like the scene from Frozen. You know how many TikToks I've seen of people doing the... Like, that's just... People really like it. They're trying to emulate it. It's not like a degrading thing. But anyway, Ariana reposted that, and she said, oh my God, can this please also double as your impression of ponytail TikTok girls who think doing Cat Valentine voice and that wearing winged eyeliner and a sweatshirt is doing a good impersonation of me? Because this is really how it feels. Degrading in its entire value. I screamed. That is a lot of emotion for people who are trying to flatter you, and I get it, some people do it in a mean way, but the one she was talking about is Paige Neiman. She's 14 years old. She has a lot of internet fam, millions and millions and millions of followers for impersonating Ariana. And we have the video right here. She looks just like Ariana. I honestly watched the video and I couldn't tell. I thought it was Ariana Grande. She looks just like her. It's really cute, but again, I think she's emulating her. She's not trying to do it to gaslight Ariana or in any type of inflammatory, mean way. Paige said, I'm used to Ariana shading me, so it's whatever. What do y'all think? Do y'all think impersonating celebrities is tired? Do y'all think recreating movies and skits on TikTok and Instagram is whack? Is it tired? I'm interested in what y'all think. I think it's cool. I think it's showing reverence, and I think Ariana you need to calm down. You need to calm down, Ariana. So last week was the premiere of Celebrity Drag Race, which was in the past 10 years of Drag Race. It is the most viewed episode in Drag Race history. Gag! With me, Bob and Trixie, and Nico, Jordan, and Jermaine. Also, shout out to Chanel, Layla McQueen, and Mayhem Miller, who did the makeovers on Nico, Jordan, and Jermaine. They did a great job. That's a whole nother story. I'll do a separate video about that because, girl, that's a whole nother ballgame, this thing. Okay? And those are the stories this week. Yeah. Full disclosure, I can't cook, but I've been making an easy Mexican staple for breakfast. Tequila. But on account of its ability to make me text my sorry-ass ex from time to time, it just was not sustainable, girl. So I called up my friend Jacqueline to help me whip up a delicious brunchtime fave. Let me call this girl. Miss Jacqueline. Listen, I have to say this. Having breakfast late at night seems a little...
extravagant?
Okay, extravagant is definitely a word for it. It feels a little trashy. I'm trash, so it's okay, it's fine.
What we're making is too damn fancy to be trashy. Not just French toast, a stuffed French toast.
Ooh, I loved my toast stuffed.
Did you get some of the presents I sent you?
I did. You were so sweet. You sent me a whole confection of bowls and spoons and ladles.
You were pulling an egg out with your hands last time. I thought you needed at least a little slotted spoon.
Okay, so what do we need?
We need a nice, thick challah bread.
I can't when you say challah. Challah.
Am I doing it right?
Yeah. Why are you asking me? I don't know.
You know, just in there, just cut the camera too. All right, I'm gonna get so in trouble for this.
My knife is literally not cutting my bread. Look at this. I like all my things thick.
I am now cracking 3 eggs, adding a half cup of milk.
I'm gonna use almond milk. Is that gonna fuck me up? Because a regular milk is a mess to me these days.
It's not gonna fuck you up, no. I'm not worried until we get the stove involved.
What would you do if I put the stove on and I like caught my outfit on fire? Would you call 911 for me?
I'd just be like, 911, get to Monét's house. And they'd be like, who's that? And I'd be like, you're an animal.
They probably know my address, cause you know this over fire up in here, girl.
Oh.
Officer, come put this pussy out.
Oh. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon.
Well, how big is a teaspoon? My whole life, I thought it was tease spoon, like you're teasing someone. If you eat something with this little ass spoon, you teasing me. All right, come on, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
This recipe, it's gonna be real rich. That's a shout out to my friend Rich. I said I'd do it. So I'm doing cream cheese. I said cream cheese, this is sugar.
Okay, remember when I thought I bought powdered sugar? I actually bought flour.
You heard it here first, Monét can't read. It's gonna be a 1/4 cup of sugar and about an equal amount of cream cheese. It just occurred to me that you might not have one of these.
Oh, I have one of
You
those.
do?
This is gonna make my shit taste lemony.
Yeah, lemon's gonna make it taste a little lemony. just a little bit. Add a little bit of vanilla to that egg mixture.
Pure vanilla, mama. Vanilla is
Like if you drink that, it's like pure alcohol, and then vanilla is soaked in. Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
Oh, no, honey, oh, that's
It's-
good. Okay. A teaspoon.
Just a little tease of vanilla.
This is pure vanilla extract, extracted straight from the veins of Trixie Mattel. The whitest bitch I know.
Oh, and you know me.
How do I cut this?
Okay, you're gonna cut the stem off.
How do you get to the stem?
I mean, how you get to the stem?
Is that what we're calling the stem?
Yeah, what do you call it?
The wig? I thought we were gonna do one of those fancy ones.
We're putting it in toast, bitch. It doesn't have to look pretty. That's my motto. If it's going in me, it doesn't have to be pretty.
You said that so fancy. Not half a lemon's juice. And sugar, okay? Oh, yeah, it's tossing. Oh, yeah.
Spread cream cheese on one side of each of the pieces of toast.
Like a sandwich. On both sides or just on one side?
On one side.
All right, because we're making a sandwich. Got it.
You got the sandwich part.
Ooh, that was a read.
Then we're gonna take our strawberries and we're gonna line one piece of bread with it.
We're done.
I just turned on my pan so I can warm it up. We're going to about medium heat. Let it soak up.
Soak it out. This French toast is about to be lit AF. I'm on a deep end, watch as I do love a good stuffing. You know what I'm saying? Once it's brown on one side, honey, that means it's black. How does flour get everywhere? Girl, flour is the devil. White flour, white flour, white flour. Oh my God, Jack, I think I was successful with this dish.
We're gonna pour a little maple syrup on it. You can do a little powdered sugar if you want. Oh, you ain't got powdered sugar. Also, I've got a little bit of this lemon curd. By the time this comes out, I will have a video released on how to make it.
Work. Come on, curd.
Forget what you curd.
Okay, I think I'm done. I did that, Miss Thing.
I got myself some of that fancy organic syrup.
Yeah, me too. My aunt made this syrup from scratch.
Oh yeah? What's your
Yeah,
name?
my name is Jemima. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you for teaching me some shit. What are we doing next time?
Ooh, we could do
I
burgers.
also think, girl, yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, yes. A good burger. Okay, work. Well, you have a good day, my dear, and I'll see you mañana.
You too. Enjoy your trashy breakfast.
Thank you.
Bye, babe.
Thank you, Jacqueline. After this, swing on over to my YouTube page for the full video. What does drag and figure skating have in common? Grown-ass men in spandex and sequins. Our first guest is an Olympic figure skater and a reality competition winner. If your guess was milk, you're wrong. I said winner, bitch. Please welcome Adam Rippon.
What's up, Monét? How are you?
I'm good, my dear. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Girl, how is Ms. Corona treating you?
I mean, hasn't visited me yet, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, that is good. But yeah, I mean, I've just been staying inside. I have like I drove my car the other day for the first time in like a month, and I actually acted like I'd never driven before. So I'm I'm losing my mind, but it's okay.
Well, you know what? At least you are improving your carbon footprint on the world. The world is trying to heal itself, and you were doing your duty. And now, so we can thank you for at least that much.
Well, you know what? You're welcome.
I have to say, I didn't realize that you were from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania? Why do you have
Yeah.
ties there?
Well, no. Well, okay. Here's the true tea. When like the whole world was like obsessed with The Office, I was not. But now we've been in quarantine. I've like been watching The Office, and I was like, oh shit, that's where The Office goes down.
Yeah, let me tell you, there's like literally nothing going on there. So where like there's one big mall. It's called the Steamtown Mall, and in the mall it's 4 stories. The last time I was there, what I remember there being there was a Walgreens, a Foot Locker, an Abercrombie, and another Walgreens on the other side. So you know
Oh.
it's not going well when you got dueling Walgreens in one Steamtown Mall.
Oh my god! Well, do y'all at least have a Starbucks? Because that's how you know at least you is doing something right. Is there a Starbucks
No,
going on?
we got in like Scranton, we got one Starbucks like 2 years ago. It's not even a drive-through. It's a very Dunkin' Donuts like Turkey Hill. Do any of these ring a
Lord.
bell to you?
Turkey Hill. That's the ice cream thing, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, but
Yeah,
they have
Turkey
like a
Hill.
store. Yeah.
Turkey Hill's the not even been. Oh hell, no, I ain't going to fucking Scranton,
Turkey Hill. Turkey Hill.
Turkey
You should
Hill's
check it
fun.
out.
No, Adam. I think. Well, maybe if you take me, I'll go.
Okay, I'll take you. I listen, any excuse to go to Turkey Hill. Because like also if you like left Scranton, the big thing that you'd go to a Wawa. Do you know what Wawa
Wow.
is?
Oh, okay. Bitch. I love Wawa. A lot of people in the South and on the West Coast don't get it. Wawa is I fucking stand Wawa.
Yeah, no, Wawa's the shit. So is actually what we had Sheets. Sheets is the poor man's Wawa, but it's like it's the white trash Wawa. But that made sense. It's
Word.
sort of like, it embodies
White white trash Wawa seems a little redundant, but go off, sis. So
Bitch, go to a Sheets and you'll know why it's called white trash Wawa.
are you held up in LA now, or you're back in Scranton? You're in LA still.
I'm in LA. I
In
wouldn't. Do you
LA.
think I would try to like have the world end with me being in Scranton right now? There's only so much tragedy I can take.
So back in Scranton, were you like so you were obviously into figure skating as a kid. Was this like something that your mom was like, you're gonna do this thing, you're gonna be my star baby, or were you like, I want to pursue skating?
So being from the East Coast, the winters get super cold, and one of the things
Mm-hmm.
that they did was they froze over this like minor league baseball field in the wintertime. And so
Oh,
I
word.
begged my mom to take me to this rink. And then when I was 10, they opened up this like indoor rink, and I went and I just kept asking my mom, please, please, please bring me. I don't know why. I think I was obsessed from after watching it like in the '98 Olympics. And then
Right.
once
That
I
was the
had
year it
seen
was
it,
in Atlanta. Or that was 2000.
that was 96 was Atlanta, 98 was Nagano. And
No,
Atlanta was Atlanta was 96.
Naga who?
2000 was Naga what? What'd you call me?
So then Nagaho, and then so that was like your inspiration for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. I remember that like I was completely obsessed that like my mom was like, "Oh, we have to watch it." Like this epitomizes like the late '90s where we were in line at McDonald's and like they were like, "We're going to announce the Olympic ladies figure skating results on the radio. Like please turn down the volume if you don't want to have a spoiler." Cuz like I mean, now if you don't want to have a spoiler, you have to like go and you have to live in a cave. You have to make sure you don't have internet
Girl,
access or anything.
hello.
So I mean, it was a completely different time, but I remember like getting a Happy Meal and asking for the girl toy, whatever it was. And I remember being like, oh, like this is big. This is really big. So it was after that, that's when I got kind of hooked. So then I started skating like in Scranton, but then I was there for a few years before I started just having to like travel around and skate with different coaches.
Gotcha. Oh my god. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the world of skating is so different. Like, y'all. Well, I guess lots of sport, like athletes, you guys do stuff like that. But I couldn't imagine, like, my parents. I cannot picture my parents taking me around to go to different voice teachers and this and that. Like, it's just like not a thing. But I guess with skating, you want to go and work with the best. Like, y'all are like super committed and shit. I wish my
Well,
parents would be like that.
well, my mom would find like families that like lived in the area of where I needed to train, and I would go and live
Work.
with them. So when I was like 13, I was just living with a different family and then coming home on the weekend.
Work.
But like what I would
Damn.
do, so I would take a Greyhound bus on Monday morning into Philadelphia because that's
Oh,
where like it was
Philly.
like a bigger rink. So I would take a
Right.
Greyhound bus from Scranton to Philly on Monday, and then I would take like a Friday night Greyhound from Philly back to Scranton. And like usually I didn't run into anybody, but there were like a few times where like my favorite story of like ever taking the Greyhound was like my number one go-to move was like having my suitcase. I mean, it was like some shitty duffel bag like ripping with like my like poor like boxer briefs like falling out. So like, but I would put it next to me so nobody would sit next to me. But there was one time where like one of the buses didn't come, so like it was completely full, and this guy, he sits down next to me. He's like, "Do you mind if I sit down here?" And I'm texting on my
Oh.
phone. I'm like, "Sure, whatever." And so then he's like, "Can I borrow your phone?" And I'm
Oh
like,
no, bitch! I've been on the subway in New York City plenty of times. I know that story, bitch. No, you can't use my phone.
well, I said yes. I was like 13. So I was like, okay. So he borrows it and he's on the phone. He's like, uh-huh, yeah, okay. Oh, I can't wait to see you. It's been too long. He hands me the phone. He's like, sorry, I just got out of jail and I forgot to call for a ride home. And I was like, I need
Work.
to get off the fucking
Get the fuck
Greyhound
off
bus.
this bus. And then, so you were obviously competing competitively, and then you were. I saw this when I was researching you. You were the first male to win back-to-back junior titles.
I was, which,
Damn.
um, yeah, thanks, Monet. Thanks for the shout out on those junior titles.
Oh, I mean, I don't. I mean, bitch, I don't skate. Is that fair? Or is it not fair?
No, that's good. It's a good
Okay.
thing. They're just like, they're not like, it was like world junior titles, so they're not like you're not like world champion. You're just like the junior world champion. So it's
Got
like
it.
really big, but it's not like the best.
Well, considering I could barely walk and run it, walk and talk at that same age, I consider it a fair accomplishment, mom.
You could barely walk and talk at 18.
Yeah, girl, facts. Have you ever met me? And then, then you go to the Olympics, and you have this really iconic moment where you spoke out about
I'm just
kids.
imagining you like at 18, you're still crawling. Your parents are like, no, she'll get it. She's just a slow learner.
Girl, that is so real. You didn't understand. You go to the Olympics, and you have a moment about pets. Like, how, you being outspoken and you speaking about it again was iconic in its experience. But do you feel like we made many strides since then? I mean, and we don't see many athletes. I mean, I guess now we do with people like Kaepernick and stuff like that, but we don't see many athletes speaking out. Why do you think your moment was so big and people were so gagged by that?
Um, I don't know. I think, well, one, I think that like I have such a big mouth and I really say what's on my mind, but it comes from the heart. So I know what I'm saying and I won't say it unless it's like thoughtful or like thought out.
Yeah.
Um so and I think I had this like really cool opportunity that like when I went to the Olympics, I was 28 and my teammates were, some of them were in their early 20s and most of them were like teenagers. So
Wow. Okay.
for me going then, I had just a greater perspective that, it's an opportunity really to just like really be honest. And if I was going to be
Yeah.
asked a question, answer it honestly. And I didn't need to give some sort of like, no, I'm just here to, just do my best. If they asked me a question, I could really answer it honestly. And I think that like
Work.
when you're in the heat of the moment, and I knew the Olympics was going to be like my last competition ever. So I had nothing to like lose at that
Work.
point.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that there's a lot of athletes that think that, like, you know, they don't want to piss anybody off, they don't want to ruffle any feathers, they just want to focus on their event. But for me, it was just I could just really relax and say
Yeah.
truly what I thought was like important.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, is it true? Because you have people like Kaepernick and stuff who have been outspoken, who have protested in their way, and then I think, correct me if I'm wrong. The internet and the commenters will let me know. Yeah, like first of all, after he did that, it took him years to, if he ever got picked up by a team. I feel like he didn't. I may be fucking that up, but like it can have lasting impressions on your career. But I think yours are the opposite. You being that way, people were really like, "Wow, this is an openly gay athlete speaking out about the injustices in our country." So that's like it really resonated with people. You know what I mean?
Well, I think when I went to the Olympics, I was never a favorite to like win Olympic gold. So I never had that pressure put on me. I knew that
Yeah.
like I was put on the team because I could help my team win a medal.
Yeah.
And I needed to skate really well. So it was just a different pressure.
Yeah.
And I also think that because I wasn't like that favorite, like the gold medal favorite or whatever, like because I wasn't that, not all eyes were on me. And but I think the fear a lot of athletes have, or, you know, in skating, like your fate and your whole life and career, you're put into the hands of like 9 people who are judging you who you don't know. And if they don't like you, they don't have to judge you well. It's all based on personal opinion. And if you're in a team, it's based on like how your teammates feel about you. If they play with you well, or if they can trust you, or if they, so it's a lot of different emotions. But I think when I went to the Olympics, I didn't have that pressure to like just not ruffle any feathers. I didn't give a fuck if I ruffled feathers, because like that's, you know, that wasn't it didn't need to be my focus.
Yeah. And then you go all the way from there to doing the RuPaul Drag Race cast reveal of season 11. Now, Adam Rippon, I want to know the tea. I want to know the hell.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy to talk about this. That was a fucking disaster. Monét X Change, Miss X Change.
Girl, let me tell you something. I was like, what is going on with that cast reveal? How did it come about? I'm sure they approached you and like
they asked me Monét, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I'm gonna start bleeding out of my eyes talking about this. All right, I'm so happy to talk about this because so basically I was like, I'll just tell you like what happened.
Yes.
I went in, so they asked me about like 5 days before. I was gonna be in New York. So I'm from LA. I've lived in LA for like 8 years. My favorite thing is now, like, some people are like, "Oh, you live in LA now?" I'm like, I've almost lived here for 10 years. Don't pull that on me.
I like you. You spicy. You saucy. Yes.
Yeah. So people always try. Oh, they're like, "Oh, LA changed you." I'm like, no, I've like fucking lived here for almost a decade, bitch. So I'm like, so I was in New York. I was doing something in New York, and it was working out that I was going to be there. And so I was already talking to like World of Wonder because I was going to be a judge on that season.
Got it. Okay.
And then I guess something came up where they asked if I was going to be in New York. I said yes, I was going to be there. And so they asked me like 4 days before if I was around and if I wanted to do something with the reveal for season 11. Yeah. And of course, like, I'm a huge Drag Race fan. Like, I love watching Drag Race. You know, I would always go, like, if I was go see drag performances, I'd go to what's it called, Hamburger Mary's in Long Beach, because it was like near where I loved it.
You're a fan. Yeah, you love the show.
Yes, I'm a fan. You know, got into it through the show and then started to go and see like more of the like local drag queens, which I had so much fun.
Which is good. Thank you for doing that, because a lot of people, they just watch the show, they watch us on TV, and they think that's drag. Well, no, drag is really the bitches at the Hamburger Mary's, at doing the after show at the Wawas, and doing the after show at Sheetz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the grind. That's like that's, you know, Drag Race is where it all kind of like it can culminate, and you see like the best. But you know, when you go and you just like support your local drag queens, you just feel part of the community. That's why I just liked it. And you could get a cheeseburger. Like what? You know, I help you, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So it was
4 days before.
So 4 days before, I'm like, of course I want to be a part of it. Like, and I'm just thinking that they're gonna basically have me be like some like idiot, like, you look beautiful, like blah blah blah, like good luck. Like I have no idea what the fuck is going on. So I go the day I get in and I get there maybe 2 hours before the queens. This is the briefing I had, because they don't want to release the cast list to me.
They're so secretive. They're so secretive. Yeah.
They're so secretive. And even when you're a judge on the show, it's so funny because I don't even know where we went. We went to somewhere like Area 51 is where it's like filmed or something. It's like yeah, it's nuts. I'm like, this is where it is. There's like tumbleweeds going around. There's like it's desert lizard people. You're like, this is unreal. This is like bizarre. And then so I get in 2 hours before all the queens, and they're like, you're going to be interviewing them all. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, that's cool. I'm so great. They don't give me like the list of who they are, and of course, like I knew a few of them from like Instagram, and actually Nina West is the first queen I ever saw perform, like ever.
Okay, work.
I was at 22. I was in Ohio. I went to some gay club for the first time, and Nina West was there. That was, I mean, that's like 8 years ago. So I knew who Nina West was, and I knew a few of them from like I knew Plastique Tiara from Instagram and stuff. So I knew
Plastique, love her.
I know, I love her too. I mean, she's like one of the most stunning queens
Girl,
I've ever seen in person.
Honestly, it is disrespectful to do any type of show or meet and greet standing next to fucking Plastique. Doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you're fucking Naomi Campbell. You're gonna look like a goddamn ogre next to her, okay?
Well, I mean,
She's ridiculous.
You know someone's like really gorgeous when they can just spray like a little, like the lightest, Sally Hansen on their legs, and they like hello.
Girl.
So I didn't know all of them yet. And so then they're telling me that Aquaria is going to be doing it with me, but she was actually there the day before. So I'm like, okay, so am I doing it with Aquaria? And I'm kind of thinking, I think Aquaria should be like interviewing them. But it was all right. But like what they did was that Aquaria had already recorded all of these challenges with everyone. So I was just like shooting it back to a recording.
Got it.
So like I've never met Aquaria, and I mean after this whole thing, I was like, why did they? I should have done that stupid like game. If they wanted me to do anything, I could have done the stupid game where like like let me do the game, like, because I don't. And so they were just like, ask them whatever you want. And I'm like, well,
that's just not how, like, they should give you time to research it so you have, like, thoughtful things. Especially knowing how crazy the Drag Race fans are. The Drag Race fans, when I went away to Drag Race, they were calling my dentist to find out when my next appointment. Like, they know so much about you. So they were, like, reading you, like, Adam didn't do no research. He didn't know nothing about these girls. Really? Him? Like, girl, why?
Yes.
Like,
it was, honestly, it was so sad for me. It was so sad because, like, I always like loved everything about all, like, the the cuntiness. Can I say that on this?
Oh, girl, pussy.
Okay, so all like how shady it all can get and everything. And I loved it, and I just it was always something that I used to just like just relax and whatever. But then as soon as I did it, it was like people were like, oh fine, I like love to see Adam crash and burn. I was like, wow, you know what? This is proving a few things to me. First, Drag Race fans are either really funny, really mean, or from Brazil, and they're one of the three. That's it. You can be two. You can be two of the three, but you're not all three, baby. You're not funny and mean. You can be funny and mean, but you can be funny and from Brazil, but you're mostly mean, and that's
not funny.
Not funny.
Damn, yeah, girl. They let you have it, girl. They were like, I can't believe. But again, but now knowing all this information, they should have let you prep for the interview so you'll be able to like better do it. Like that's. Yeah.
Well, I feel like they honestly should have just asked a drag queen to do the interviews, because I mean I had no idea what the experience is like. I didn't know what to ask them, and I tried to just ask like the same like 4 or 5 questions, but then it turned it into like a 5-hour thing. So it was basically It was like the Rosie O'Donnell Broadway thing, like only with 12 people. So it was just, you know, it was it just turned into a shit show. And I left and was like, I think that went okay. And then I like went on Twitter and was like, oh no. I should
Girl,
jump.
and they like fucking deleted it off of YouTube right away. They're like, we gotta trash it,
Thank
burn it.
God, no. It was gone as it should have been. Because I mean, you know, my favorite my favorite tweet out of out of everything was Trixie. She tweeted something and it was like, you know, that one video that's like, it's this black guy and this like skinny white girl who she's like out of her mind and she's like, I like your style, and she just like moves the mic over to him and he's like, you're kind of weird. And it's like, and I was like, I fucking hate myself and I want to eat my own eyeballs and then throw them up and put them back. But it worked. It's kind of true.
Well, listen, it will forever go down as being one of the most like wackiest moments in Drag Race history. So you're gonna live on a Drag Race as having the kookiest, craziest interview thing ever. So it's still
I love it
that way.
And now I know if I ever get asked to do anything, I'm absolutely gonna say no. The only thing I'll ever do is go back out to Area 51.
Out in Burbank, girl. Also, Adam, so I have just one really quick question before you go. So is it true, because you did the T Swift music video, You Need to Calm Down.
Yes.
And is it true that RuPaul was never on set? I have heard that he green screened his whole part. Is that true?
Okay, so here's the thing. The whole thing was so secretive and it was like, so like there was more security and like everything there than there is when like Michelle Obama does anything.
Really?
So like we drove somewhere and we had to drop off our cell phone at one location. And then we drove to another location. And then when we were there, we were only there with the people who were filming at the same time.
That makes
sense. So the shoot
yeah.
took like three days. So we had heard through the grapevine that like, when I say the grapevine, Taylor told us that Katy Perry was there the day before. I'm like, the grapevine? I'm like, through my friends. Taylor like had lunch with us and she was like, Katy was here yesterday. And I'm like, Katy, fucking Holmes, Katy, like Herrick, like where are we going with this? And like, you know, someone else, they're like, I think she means Katy Perry. I'm like, Katy Perry, they hate each other. And I'm like,
right.
Oh, I could just ask her right now. And I was like, Katy Perry? She's like, yeah, Katy Perry was here yesterday. I'm like, oh, that's good for you.
Yeah.
So when I was there, it was Dexter Mayfield and Hannah Hart were there, and then some of the Queer Eye cast was coming in.
Right.
And then and Haley Kiyoko was leaving. So that's all I knew. Other than that, they wouldn't tell us anything. They wouldn't tell us anything.
The rumor,
and also we never heard the song.
Work. You know, when I did Madonna's music video, we never heard the song either. All we heard was like a little bit of the beat of the track, but we never like heard the song. Well, so just for people watching who don't know, the rumor is that RuPaul did the music, like her part when she has the crown is apparently it was on green screen in her home because she was like, no, I'm not coming to set. I'll do it from my home, and like they green screen the whole thing around Ru. Apparently. It may be a rumor, maybe I'm trying to find out. So when I have a guest who has like a close connection, I like to find out what the tea was. You know what I'm saying? That's fair.
I would believe it because, you know, I think Tan France's part was green screened because he was filming another show. So there were a few like parts that didn't like match. But I mean, it's hard when you're like, you know, you only have 2 days because I didn't get asked until like a week before. Of course, it felt like flashbacks to the reveal. And you're not gonna have me interview anyone, are you, Taylor?
You were so funny. We need to hang out, Kiki, get a drink, get a cocktail. You're fine. I like you.
Yeah, we'll have to hang out. When I'm in New York, we'll get together. Also, I have a show coming out on Quibi. It's called Useless Celebrity History. So make sure that you guys go and watch.
Oh my God, yeah. What is it called? Useless Celebrity
History.
Okay, work. And is it you? Please tell me you're drunk doing this. I feel like a drunk Adam would be even funnier and fiercer.
You know what? Drunk Adam is just like sober Adam. So you're gonna get exactly what you're looking for. You know?
Oh, work, Quibi. I have to tell you, Quibi got some good shit. As soon as this is done, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put on my little Apple TV and I'm gonna watch. It's on Apple TV.
Yeah, it's not on Apple TV, but you know what? They're gonna start. So like the beginning of May, everything you're gonna be able to stream it on your TV, which I think is gonna be great because it's supposed to be on the go. But right now, when everybody's stuck at home, I think it's gonna. You want to watch it on your TV, so it's gonna be great. And yeah, I've been loving Quibi, and so
I love that. Adam, thank you for stopping by, my dear.
My pleasure, Monét. Thank you for getting in day drag for me.
Oh, girl, you know what? I'll do anything for you. Anything.
Same here.
Have a good day, my love. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye. Atención, classes in session, bitch. Señorita Aventura es aquí for another Spanish lesson of the gay ABCs.
Welcome back, classroom. ¿Cómo están? If you forgot your favorite teacher's name, it is Señorita Pixie Aventura. And in today's classroom, we are learning about the word sorry. Sorry. Sorry is an adjective usually used when there's a feeling of distress, especially through sympathy with someone else's misfortune. But I guess, damn it! Or it's also a feeling of regret or penitence. Or it could also be used as a form of an apology. For example, I am very sorry for these girls on season 12 of Drag Race. It's like they're cursed. I mean, can't they catch a break? So, where did this word come from? Well, the word sorry traces back to the Proto-Indo-European word saye, which meant hard, rough, and painful, down to the Proto-Germanic word saragos, which meant sad, through Old English sarig, which is feeling or expressing grief, sorry, grieved, sorrowful, sad, mournful, bitter. And finally, to the Middle English word sorry, which I think we know what that means. And now it's time to translate sorry into Spanish. You ready? Here we go. Perdóname. Lo siento. Un momento. Lamento. Now, all of these words sound pretty different, and that's because they kind of are. The thing is, though, when you translate sorry into Spanish, you need to be able to have different options in order to finish whatever phrase you're trying to say. For example, let's put this into a sentence. I'm going to use more than one option so it makes sense. Excuse me, wait a minute, I don't understand. You are my therapist, and he is my husband. Perdóname, but that is not what this is. I lamento I ever met you, and I lamento that I allowed myself to love you for all those years. I lamento that I did nothing but be there for you every minute of every hour and support you in your every move! Perdóname! And with that, my lovely classroom, we have come to the end of today's lesson. Lo siento mucho, but don't you worry, because I will be back, Señorita Pixie Aventura, to teach you any word or phrase you need to know in Spanish. Mwah! Until next time!
Para continuar en español, marque opción 2. Thank you. If you've been watching Drag Race this season, then you were mad as hell last Friday when this queen was told to sashay away. But don't cry for her, Valentina, because with a new single out and being a shoe-in for an all-star season, I'm calling it now, this diva is sure to make it her Von duty to come for a crown. Widow!
Hey!
Widow Von Du, how you doing, gal?
I'm doing all right, fat and fabulous like usual. How you doing?
I have to say, you, like, before we started recording, I was telling you, and I'm going to say it again, you look so gorgeous, so beautiful.
This is my going to shopping at the grocery store look.
I have to say, because your complexion, everything, like your skin is like buttery smooth, and you put, because when you have good skincare and you have good skin and you put makeup on top of it, it just amplifies your gorgeosity even fucking more.
Oh, I like that word.
She loves to make up a word, girl.
Come on, girl.
Wait, by the way, so I've heard that I was reading that you've been doing drag for 13 years. Bitch, how old are you? Because there's no way. How?
I, I just turned 31. Actually,
Really?
the episode that me and Jan had the lip sync, I turned 31 on that Friday.
Oh, it was your wait. Was your birthday when you were filming or like when it aired?
No, when it aired.
Okay, work.
And I started when I was 17,
Got it.
doing shows for this youth center called Passages, and we were raising money for Pride. And I was just as nasty then as I am now.
So when you went to Drag Race, that's something I think about. So because obviously 13 years, you're a seasoned queen. When you go on Drag Race and you were like around these younger girls, like no shade, Jan, who's been doing drag for 3 years, does that like fuck with you? Because I know for me, when I see like really young queens going on Drag Race, I'm like, bitch, how?
No, it doesn't really like fuck with me like that. It's like they have something that the world needs to see, and then they're just other bitches that's just in the way. It's like I always appreciate a young queen. Like I've learned so much from the queens of newer generations of drag, and I've moved into my, I guess, older style of drag.
Do you feel like Drag Race was everything that you thought it would be? Because you had like Monique. So I met you when you did DragCon, our first DragCon, season 10. You did Monique's number with her there. So that's when I first met you. Like, was Drag Race what you thought it would be, or was it different?
So when I walked in, I was like, "Oh, bitch." I've been ready for this and prepared for this. This is it. Like, I don't understand why this shit's so hard. And then I got the note like, mother.
Girl, T, same girl. I walked in like watching the girls on TV. I'm like, these bitches is so lame. Like, girl, why did you do this? Then you do it and you're like, yeah, this is hard.
Literally, I was watching it before I got on. I was like, why are these bitches always crying? And I watched myself. I was like, bitch, why you always crying?
Girl, that was me too. When Bob came back from filming season 8, I was like, girl, you up there crying on TV? If I was on Drag Race, I would never cry. Cut to episode 4, episode 5, episode 8, episode 9, just fucking crying like a fool on TV all the time. It's actually my new kink. I love doing it.
Oh, I'm ready to do No Tears Left to Cry like over and over again. Just pictures of me crying on the screen.
Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, which by the way, someone sent me a link of you doing your Joker performance. I think or maybe I saw it on Twitter like 2 weeks ago. That shit is so good. You see, I love when a bitch is doing a number and it's not like you're like, oh, I see where this is going. It was such a good number, like, and you're definitely a performing dancing queen. Would you say that like that is like your strength in the season? Like what, like, or do you have a strength that you don't feel was portrayed on the season?
No, I definitely do feel that my biggest strength was found, which is, my entertainment, because that's what I live to do. Like before I got on the show, I worked 6 days a week at Hamburger Mary's, and I'd put on a show, and it was always a different show, but I gave you entertainment. And I knew walking in there, I was like, if I ain't got shit else, at least gonna be entertained when I stepped off the stage.
So Rachel Bloom, she did a podcast, Drag Her with Nicole Byer. Shout out to Nicole Byer. Listen to the episode. And she was saying, like, obviously she only saw you this past episode, but she was saying now, like, watching the season, like, from the beginning, she's like, the widow that she saw on that episode was not the girl, like, that she was watching on TV, like, episode 1 and all these episodes before. Like, what do you think happened?
I felt like I was doing much better than I was getting critiqued for. And then it just started like, I'm an Aries, so my ego is pretty much everything that is like the armor that keeps me going. And just not hearing anything positive for, weeks and weeks. And then when you finally actually do hear something, it's like, oh, well, your infomercial sucked. And I was like, yeah, you're right, it did. It sucked.
No, this episode, it was your second time being in the bottom. Did you think that your lip sync would save you, or you were like, nah, this is my time to go?
It's kind of a combination of both. I kind of felt like this outfit, this lip sync is about to be very powerful and very moving. And it could be the ticket that either keeps us both or keeps me. And at the same time, I was like, girl, I don't know. Like, I've seen a bitch's track record where you in the bottom, multiple times. It's like,
Yeah.
adios, bitch.
Well, I mean, but also coming off of such a strong lip sync, like the week before, it was you and Jan doing Shaka Khan. And Jan, bitch, have you seen that meme? They're saying it's like that little white girl, JoJo Siwa, doing like all this stuff in her life. And it was like Jan trying to lip sync against Widow. No shade to Jan, but I mean, you were just emoting, like you were doing Shaka. You know what I'm saying? You weren't just trying to like impress and do crazy stuff. So I mean, it would be in my head. I would be like, oh, bitch, I got this. But I mean, I get what you're saying. It was, but to be fair, your first time at lip syncing, it was a good thing. It wasn't like a bad thing. It was a positive. So technically, it was only your second lip sync. You know what I mean? But but I feel that. But listen, I have to say you have a lot of stuff on the horizon for you. You have your new single coming out. Talk to us about that.
So I released Yes Bitch She Might Be a couple weeks ago, to give the people something to dance to in their living room when they're nice and drunk, or or whatever. If you live in a sober life, that's for you.
That's cool too. You punk.
And I got my album coming out October 31st. It's called
Work.
And I'm trying to work on releasing something from it now, hopefully in the next couple weeks. Something else. Just keep the children gagging.
Well, you know what? I did not know that you were into music at all. So, but the first time I heard you perform was when you did Bob's live show, and I was like, oh shit! Like Widow is like a good rapper. Is it a rap album? Are you singing on it as well? What's the deal?
So it's a full rap like Banji club. It has several bops on it that you can literally hear at the club and dance to. And I've been writing music for many and many years, ever since I was 14. And actually, after season 10, I had wrote an album and I sold it to Just Kansas City. And I used that money to pay for my LASIK surgery before I got the call to get on Drag Race.
Work. Oh, she making money moves. All right, Miss Thing. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned for Drag Race?
The biggest lesson I learned is the one that I think that all of us learn, is to love ourselves. And I realized on the show that I was walking in with all this baggage that I just didn't deal with, and I'm in this situation that's stressful, that's long hours. And I have no one I can really talk to because I don't know any of these bitches for real.
Right.
So I'm not just gonna open up to these bitches like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I gotta remember that I gotta love myself and know that I worked my ass off to be here.
Yeah.
So let's make every moment worth it. And every moment was worth it.
I do want to know this. Do you, because I mean, the season 12 cast, you guys are being so nice, and not saying that the other seasons are not. In season 10, we had like a little Facebook group that kind of fizzled out like after like the second episode. I mean, sometimes you hostile, we send the messages in that group. I'm like, girl, nobody check this. But are y'all really as cool and as tight as y'all are saying? Because I'm like, if so, work. If not, these bitches, but it works.
I definitely believe we are. Like, we still have our group message. We still talk to each other. Every now and then, the girls will call me. I'm kind of bad about it because, I sit at home, play video games, and my phone's always on silent. And
Same.
And so I'm like, girl, y'all be in our group message and messaging. We'll be 48 messages deep, and I just be sliding through liking pictures. Like, yes, bitch, you look cute in that picture you posted 6 hours ago.
Oh my God, what game are you playing? I just beat Spider-Man PS4. The Amazing Spider-Man. It is one of the best fucking video games I've ever played in my life. So good.
I don't have a PS4, so I don't know.
Oh, what are you playing? Switch? Are you on Switch?
So I'm actually playing on my Xbox.
Oh, you an Xbox bitch. Okay.
My partner got me into playing Dragon Age Inquisition. And
you on some nerd shit.
Yes, bitch, I love it. Right now I'm a warrior. She be messing people up. It's a real fun game. That's what I've been playing for like the last 2 months. Are you
gonna play the reboot Final Fantasy 7? Are you into her?
I haven't really got into her, but now since I got nothing but time, I guess I can just start playing all the games, and then I will be into her.
Well. Me and my good friend Keisha, we want to recommend that you play Final. I would say play Final Fantasy 10. If you have the time, Final Fantasy 10 is one of the greatest mother effing video games I've ever played in my life. It's so good. Play Final Fantasy X. If you like it, then play 7 later.
Like literally, you're not the only person that's told me that. People have been telling me that on live too. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, check her out, girl. Check her out. Well, oh my! Sorry, my little Keisha fell over. Well, Widow, thank you so much for talking to me today. Now I know y'all don't know yet, especially everything going on, but I am praying to the Lord above that you get on an all-star season. Give us more taking your limbs and ripping them off and beating the girls with them and jumping in the air, cartwheeling, backflipping into 3 double splits. Because I need to see more of it on my motherfucking TV.
I mean, I didn't even get a chance to do all the tricks that I got up my sleeves. That was just to teach.
Oh, there's more.
Oh yes, honey. I wanted everybody to know that a big girl can do a lot of things.
Which, by the way, really quick, I've been trying to teach myself how to do a back walkover, and I think I'm almost there.
I'll give you a little secret on how I learned how to do it. So get yourself next to a good wall, and then just start walking down the wall, going backwards, and then bring yourself back up, bring yourself back down, and then eventually, you'll start getting used to just going down backwards without having an issue.
Okay, well, because I was like, after I saw you do it in the first lip sync, I was like, oh, bitch, I'm learning how to do her too. So I've been trying to do it in my apartment. I done busted up the floor tiles. So I think we're gonna take a break, but I will get into the thank you for the tip.
And then just remember, if you fall, the only thing you're hitting is the floor.
Or snapping my neck clean off, Widow. Widow, thank you so much, my dear. So stay well, stay safe, and I'm sure we're going to see each other soon, Miss Thing.
Yes, I am ready. Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Of course. Always. And I'll talk to you soon.
Mwah.
Fun show today, right? It's always a pleasure sharing my quarantine with all of y'all. Well, most of y'all. If you like this video, comment, share, tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell your daddy. And remember to always keep your currency in check.